We can start recording. I'll just wait. I'm just going to call the annual meeting of the Millbrook Library to order on February 16th at 7 p.m. with a quorum. So tonight we kind of have two sections to our meeting. We have the annual meeting, which is just really, we're going to take just a moment to reflect on the past year. Take care of some annual nominations business. That's really what's going to happen in this first portion of the meeting, and then we'll move over to our regular meeting. So I just wanted to start off by saying that it's been quite the year, to say the least. It was a year of transition and growth and challenge for the library. We said goodbye to some longtime staff members and longtime trustees, and welcomed new staff and new trustees. And of course, we all faced this strange new reality of the pandemic, and we're all being affected by that, right? Everybody in their personal lives, everything was different. So I just am grateful that that Courtney came on board and that we were able to really keep things going at the library, even after, having to close and face those challenges. I think that, we're, looking toward the new year and finding new ways to do the mission of the library. And I'm grateful to everyone here who has stuck it out and been a part of this journey this past year with me, and I'm grateful to all of you. I'm also looking forward to this new year, particularly working on the strategic plan along with Courtney and all of you, and developing the plan for the next steps or the next phase of the library's life and mission. And then I also am looking forward to other things that we have planned, and just policy-wise, I want to take a look at our bylaws and see if there's anything that needs updating. I'm kind of, a wonk when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I look forward to working on that, those types of things. So with that, I just would, I guess, turn it over to Courtney just for a little bit of a report that she can provide us looking back on the past year.
All right, thanks, Jody. So obviously, I was only at the library for half of 2020 technically, but I think the thing that definitely dominated this year was the pandemic. So as you all know, the pandemic forced the library building to close in March 2020, which is crazy to think it's almost been a year now since that happened. The library opened back up for curbside services in June, and the library building reopened to patrons in July. And I think the pandemic really forced us to think differently about how we offer library services to our community and how we can best serve our patrons in a time of crisis. The library staff got creative, implemented new policies to keep patrons and staff safe, and we began offering online programming for the first time, which has just gotten more successful over the months, which is pretty encouraging. And generally, over the course of 2020, we all stayed flexible and watched the pandemic numbers to make sure we were able to keep our community safe and still offer great library service. So I just want to say this has been a very challenging time for everybody, and I think especially our library, because we were going through a big period of transition and hiring new staff members. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of all of the library staff. I think they've done a really phenomenal job of adapting to new policies and new procedures and doing it all professionally and with a smile. So I just like to give kudos to them. They've done an outstanding job this past year. And I just wanted to say thank you for all of you, because whenever I came to you with a new procedure or something that needed to be approved rather quickly, you all were on it and very, very helpful. So thank you, everyone here, for all of your help, because I think 2020 definitely could have been a lot more difficult without a good team like our board and staff. So thank you. In terms of the library's collections, the library's physical collections underwent an extensive weeding project that's still in progress, honestly. Many of the library's nonfiction books were severely outdated and hadn't gone out in years, and the collection is slowly being updated. It's obviously going to take a lot of time, but we're working on it. We did our VHS collection due to the lack of use. It just wasn't circulating, and it was time for them to go. And the library put more money towards e-content and actually saw the largest increase in borrowing since patrons gained access to e-content in 2010. So our increase in between 2019 and 2020 in terms of ebook circulation was huge. And it just shows that we're putting money in the right area. People are interested in e-content, I think, especially now more than ever due to the pandemic, and we're doing a good job. For the library building, the library foyer started to receive an update in 2020 that was funded by the Friends of the Library. The Friends are updating the paint, lighting, carpeting, and adding new furniture into high-quality museum display cases that are going to be used by the Historical Society and the library, so that's very exciting. The paint is coming along very well. I checked it the other day, and it looks great so far. The library building also received new highly efficient HVAC filters to help protect against COVID and filter the air better. And we purchased a new router, which we really needed because our old one was basically held together by tape. So that was a good purchase. And for development and grants, the library received a lot of really generous grants and donations over the past year, which has definitely been very helpful in making me feel better, for one, about our financial stability. We received $5,000 from the Vincent and Carol W. Dean Family Charitable Foundation for Youth Services. We received $2,000 from the George T. Whalen Jr. Foundation for Youth Services. We received $5,000 from the Dyson Foundation for general use. We received a private $50,000 donation for general use, which is very helpful. And we also received the PPP loan, which was also very helpful. So lots of, like I said, really generous donations and diverse funding, I think, this year. As for outreach, the library, I think we did a pretty good job with outreach considering the pandemic circumstances. We coordinated a lot with local businesses to offer summer reading program prizes. We had a table outside the library for National Voter Registration Day. We coordinated with local businesses to hold a Halloween hunt. That was pretty fun. We placed a story walk in the tribute garden with their cooperation. And we participated in the Great Give Back and held a food drive and handed out blue light blocking glasses, to name a few of the things that we did this year. So I feel like even though things were definitely a little bit more difficult than normal for outreach, and we couldn't necessarily do some things that I personally would want to do, like pop-up library events and things like that, we still definitely made the best of that situation. For personnel, Abby Gallagher was hired as a new children's literacy coordinator in August. Justin O'Hearn and Grace McCormick were hired as new clerks or promoted in Grace's case. Diana Bonacue retired on December 31st, 2020. Elizabeth O'Connell resigned in December 2020. And Olivia Iannucci resigned as a page at the end of September 2020. And I have to say, I miss everybody that left the past year. Olivia, Elizabeth, and Diana were really great people to work with. And I definitely miss Diana's expertise on things in the village and Elizabeth's just calm demeanor about everything. But I think we also had some really, really great additions with Abby and Justin and Grace in her new position as the clerk. And like, I can't say enough good things about the people I work with. So for programming, as I mentioned before, we got kind of creative with programming this year. For adult programming, we held online programs for adults, such as a tour of Jackson Pollock's studio, cooking classes, a botanical drawing class, meditation, tech help, and a lot more. The library also offered take and make card kits for adults that were very popular in the last few years of the months of the year. And the art gallery was still enjoyed by patrons as well, even during the pandemic when the building reopened. There was a lot of people that would come in to look at the art, which was really nice to see. Terry, our teen services coordinator, started a series of very popular teen craft programs, such as the Teen DIY Craft Club and So Easy, a sewing club for teens. And the teens really enjoy these programs, and I think the programs offer a very good way to stay connected with teens while they can't gather inside the library. So she did a really great job thinking outside the box there. Our children's programming this year has been extensive. Abby, even though she only started in August, has created a plethora of new programs that are really safe and fun for kids, including arts and crafters, science worms, drawing club for earthlings, which I really like, the Right Stuff creative writing program, and virtual story times. And she's also held programs such as a Meet the Illustrator event, STEM programming, and many others. And she has her own fan club, and the kids really enjoy learning from her, which is very nice to see. She had really big shoes to fill because Joan was really loved in the community, I think. And while she definitely can't replace Joan, she's stepped into the shoes, I think. So she's done a great job. And that's just a highlight summary of things that happened in 2020.
Well, thank you so much for that, Courtney. It's quite the achievement, I would say, given all the circumstances and the short amount of time that you were on board to oversee all of that. So thank you so much. I guess I just want to open up here just briefly if there's any committee chairs that want to say anything in particular about anything that happened over the past year. So if there's anybody that wants to just jump in on finance or buildings and grounds or anything in particular that you might want to reflect on from the past year. No pressure if not.
I guess this is Mark. And yeah, Courtney's been great when it comes to getting my numbers. That's all I care about is reviewing them and everything like that. And with all the constraints of the pandemic and everything like that, I was able to get everything. And even today, the most special thing happened was Erica didn't send anything. And Courtney went into QuickBooks and got me the numbers and sent them to me. It was just astounding. So yeah, I just love that she's willing to really like go outside of her comfort zone and, you know, help us out with anything. And I hope she feels the same way about us. But yeah, she's great. Thank you.
I definitely feel the same way, Mark. Thanks.
Michael, I was hearing about how the property, the long haul on the HVAC system has come this year.
Yes. That's just matter of the engineer now. It's on his agenda. Unfortunately, he had a car accident last week, but that's not going to stop him, he said. Just he was planning on being there last week. So he's just rescheduling, but I haven't done that with him yet.
Well, God bless you for just keeping up with that endless effort.
Yeah, no, it should be. I'm actually kind of curious to what the report finally says in the end. But yeah, it's a great thing to get behind us.
Thanks.
But that's really the only thing on the building, besides obviously the nice doing the foyer work, but that's not
Right.
getting into the infrastructure.
So before we move to our nominations business, is there anybody else have anything that they want to say?
I would just mention that the nominating portion of the board is in good shape. This is my first year as a board member that we've had no resignations, and all 4 executive positions are filled without any stress to me. So thank you so much. I cannot tell you, I've stressed every year. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, so this has been the worst year, but it's also been the best year in my opinion, for the board. You guys have just been fantastic to work with, and some new members and a possible future new member tonight puts our numbers at 11, which is perfect. Not too big, not too small. And I also think just for continuity this year, it's just been really great that we haven't lost anybody, and we're looking forward to a great new year.
Very good. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
So I don't I don't know if you want to take the lead on our, the officers vote.
Okay. Can we do them all at once? Or do we do them, can we do them all
We can
separately?
do it as a, you can put forward the slate,
Okay,
and then we can vote on the slate.
okay. I'd like to make a motion to vote, well, I'll just say this, the members first. For President, Jody Fernandez is returning, would like to return. Father Matt Calkins would also return as a Vice President, with Mark Vila as treasurer and myself, Carrie Kapowski, as the secretary for the 2021 year of the Millbrook Library Board. And I would, should I make the motion or somebody else?
Is there any discussion on any of that?
I move to accept this slate of nominees.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then the slate is approved. Thank you. Good.
Okay. And secondly, I would like to propose that James Eade joins the Millbrook Library Board as our new trustee. And is there any discussion about that?
That'd be great.
Yes, welcome.
Okay.
We're excited. Yay.
Hey, James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh,
Can't
right,
just
Matt
vote-
was
can't
not,
just vote until I know a little bit.
Matt was
How are
not
you,
at the
Father Matt?
meeting that where you were introduced, James. Sorry about that.
All right. How's everybody tonight? My name is James Eads. I am a father in the district, Millbrook School District. I work for the Millbrook School District in the tech department. My kids are 6 and 8. They actually, one of them went to the preschool there, and that's how I met Father Matt, I believe.
Oh,
But other than that,
you look familiar.
okay, yeah. But yeah, I'm a local guy. I've lived in the community my entire life, and you know, I'm a little lost for words right now, but you know, I'm very excited to to potentially join you guys, and you know, happy to be here. So I thank you.
Well, thank you.
Now, should we vote on James? Do we vote on James now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion that we approve James Eads as our newest trustee for the board of the Millbrook Library.
I'll second again.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Hey, you're fast. Welcome, James.
All right, welcome, James. Official.
Great to have you.
Very much appreciated, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, then that's all the business we have for our annual meeting. So I would now transition to our regular meeting. To begin, we have the December 5th minutes of the December 15th, 2020 and the January 19th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Jody, can I just interrupt you for one quick
sure.
second? Do we need to make a motion to leave the annual meeting like we usually do? I'm not sure.
I don't think we need to do that. We'll just
Okay.
transition. That's fine.
Okay, thanks.
So the meeting minutes from December and January were sent around in advance. Is there any discussion or questions on either of those minutes? Okay, I make a motion to accept both the December 15th and January 19th meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Michael?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
No opposed. The meeting minutes are passed. All right, we don't have any public or employee visitors this evening. For my report, I would just like to let everybody know that today, Courtney, I think Nikki was at the Advocacy webinar. This is Library Advocacy Week is coming up next week, and Mid-Hudson Library System held a very informative webinar letting us know all the different tools that are out there for us to be able to advocate for our library systems throughout New York State. And it's to advocate to the legislators to push for better, increased, more library funding, ultimately. And we can send you some information for you to take a look at. There's an advocacy guide that Mid-Hudson Library System has put together, which is very helpful about different ideas about, calling your legislator or inviting them to visit the library, sending an email, and using the New York Library Association online advocacy center. So I can just, Courtney or I can share that information with you and just encourage everyone to maybe pick something off that list to do to support the library and kind of keep the pressure on our New York State government officials to think about the library and all that the library means for our community and all that we do. I know Courtney has already started her Instagram and social media push to get our community to think about what the library means to them. It's all about getting our stories to be told and getting them to be heard about how important the library is and what the library does for all of us. So that was one big thing. So the Library Advocacy Week is all next week, February 22nd through the 26th. Advocacy Day is February 26th. So we'll send you some talking points and some information for you to look up and encourage everyone to think about doing something in support of the library. And with that, I would turn over to Courtney for her February report.
All right, thank you, Jody. So for COVID-19 updates, the staff and I still feel really comfortable with the level of service we're currently offering. The COVID numbers are going down, which is really good to see just anyway, but I don't really want to go back to the level of service we were offering before the holidays, mostly because the staff has to spend a lot less time now making sure that patrons are wearing their masks safely. And it seems like we have a pretty good rhythm where people are used to the procedures now. They seem to be okay with it for the most part. And I feel like we're in a really good spot right now. For building updates, Jeffrey Van Tassel had to get a part to fix our boiler bearing assembly, and he's going to come fix it actually tomorrow. It should be done. He's going to come back and do it. So that'll be good to get done. I wanted to point out this became more of an issue today, honestly, but our roof has been leaking heavily in some spots because of the accumulation of snow on the flat roof. And I think it goes kind of without saying that flat roofs aren't great for buildings that see a lot of snowfall. And I think this year, especially, we've seen a lot more snowfall than normal. So I think it's becoming more of an issue than it might have been in the past. But one day last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday, we walked in and it was leaking really badly. And we had a ceiling tile that looked like it was going to fall down. And we walked in today and there was another ceiling tile that had come down and it was leaking like crazy. And actually, as we were about to close the building, we heard this really weird buzzing noise and smelled a bad smell. That's the only way I can describe it. And we think that one of the lights in the leak area was trying to come on. And so we turned it off and we called Scott, and Scott said, just turn it off. He's going to come check it out tomorrow morning. But it's definitely becoming an issue. So I don't know what the best way is to fix this. I feel like no matter what with a flat roof, even if we repair the leaks and stuff, we're still going to have these issues in the future. So I'd really like to begin working on a facility plan to prepare for the 2021 construction grant application. And I think if we apply for this construction grant for both the roof issue and our HVAC system, and just like go big, hopefully we get approved for at least one of them. But the roof situation is definitely becoming a little bit more drastic over the past week. So I wanted to update everybody on that. So are there any comments or?
Well, Courtney, where was the main leak or the big leaks?
So there's, it's, the main one right now is like right where you walk in at the friendly lane entrance, like right in the little, like you walk in and then you go through the double doors and it's right there, kind of like before you walk past the circ desk. And then there's
Okay.
also one like right across from the circ desk looking into the fiction room, but that's not nearly as bad.
Yes, but they both actually sound, they're not, I've seen other leaks, but they're not those locations. So they sound like new problems.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think there's definitely other locations that I know about but aren't leaking right now for some
Yeah, because we
reason.
patched a few of the old other ones, but
Yeah,
what you're describing, I don't recall seeing those leak before. So yeah, it could be another new issue.
yeah, it was just kind of alarming walking in today and then seeing this. Today I walked in and part of the ceiling tiles were on the floor and the phones weren't working, and we kind of fixed one of those issues, but the phones worked again, but the ceiling just dripped all day. So I definitely like to explore how to fix it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question of really looking at it and seeing, is it a repair job, or is it a new flat roof has to go in up there?
Yeah.
I mean, because that roof is only was like 15 years old, am I right? Plus or minus?
I was trying to remember, I don't remember this roof getting anything but patches in the time that I've been involved.
Yeah, it's gotten patches since it was, I'm assuming it's it's in the new part of the building, so it's original with the roof, I mean, when they put the addition on.
Well, this would be the day. This was a classic day for ice damming and.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
today's
this-
the day you would see
Yeah.
the worst just because of ice and water.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate because, even a flat roof should last 20 to 30 years. It seems like ours didn't quite make it.
Well, I'm wondering if it's, like, I don't know if Scott can get up to see, but where there's, equipment mounted on a flat roof and the flashing has gone up, but the snow falls high enough to reach over it.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff we were patching last time. Where there's one vent that was up there that we patched where exactly that. It's where the roof penetrations are, or it was where the parapet wall meets the flat roof.
Okay.
Those were the places that were leaking.
Yeah, because those corners, those are really tough when they get tall. And
Yeah.
I know Scott is coming in.
Have a sort of count of the different leaks that would help on the estimate for what needs to be done.
Yes, I know Scott is coming in tomorrow morning to take a look at it again. And I'll ask him if there's anything like above it that could be like Michael used like a roof penetration that could be causing it. Because he'll know. He knows everything about the building. So.
Yeah, it's
so
usually, yeah, if he knows where it is coming inside and you go up above, you can usually, if it is a penetration, you can pretty usually figure it out pretty easily.
All right, I will definitely keep you all posted on what happens with this. If anything else further happens, and kind of, I think the best thing to do, Michael, if you don't mind, I can send you a facility plan template to look over because we have to fill one out for the construction grant anyway. Mid-Hudson just needs to have it, and they sent out a really nice template in the last director's meeting packet. So I'll send that to you and we can take a look at it.
Okay, sounds good.
The next thing for buildings is actually New York state law has kind of, this was not something I was aware of until Mid-Hudson pointed it out, but by March 23rd of this year, New York state law requires that all single occupancy public restrooms be designated as gender neutral for use by no more than one occupant at a time or by family and assisted use. So basically this means that existing single occupancy bathrooms, which are pretty much all of ours, we have to remove any signing that designates it as male or female and has to replace it with signs indicating that it's open to everybody, like people of all genders. So I was planning on ordering new signs, hopefully this week, and then putting them up by March 23rd. So that way we're in compliance with New York state law.
Right, just make sure the signs are ADA compliant, meaning they have the
Yes.
braille and the raised letters.
Definitely. And I'll look to see if I can find where we got them in the past. That might be the easiest thing to do. For collection updates, it's really something really exciting actually is we've received our digitization equipment to start scanning the Bennett collection. And the staff involved with this project have a one-on-one training session set up with Jen from the Hudson River Valley Heritage organization. And once those are complete, we're actually going to begin scanning documents like in earnest. And we have the equipment for 3 months. So we're just basically going to try to scan as much as possible and then catalog it. So that's very exciting. And I've weeded about halfway through the fiction section so far, just an update. I'm up to N, we're getting there. Something that I really like though is I haven't had to throw anything out. I just put it on the free book cart and people are taking them. So that feels really good. For development and grant updates, last meeting, Jody asked for a 2019 to 2020 comparison with the annual appeal numbers. So I wanted to report back. In 2019, we raised $11,790 for our annual appeal. And this year, for 2020, we raised $26,870. And for 2019, overall in grants and contributions, we raised $59,657. And in 2020, we raised $132,288. So I was really happy to see those numbers. It made me feel good. So I just wanted to report back. That was kind of exciting to look at.
Yeah, thank you, Courtney. That was good to see that and the great job.
For finance, I have a correction to my report. I did complete the PPP forgiveness application and I sent it to Mark today. So Mark, I'm not sure if you got a chance to look at it because I sent it kind of late, but hopefully everything looks good and I didn't mess anything up there.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out tomorrow for sure.
So it'll just feel really good to have that done and then we don't need to worry about it anymore.
But you're not going to do the second round of the PPP loan?
Well, at least not the first round anymore. I can worry about one loan at a time. For Friends, an update on the Friends. The foyer is being painted, like I said before. It looks really nice. I posted a photo on social media just to kind of let people know it was happening, and there was a pretty good response to it. The Friends are exploring different ceiling tile options, I believe, right now. So they haven't really picked a firm option for that yet, but they're exploring it. And they are looking at having a meeting sometime in March on Zoom, which would be nice because I think the last time they met was in November and I've offered to host a meeting for them with the library's Zoom account. So I'm glad to see that they're thinking of getting together again. For updates on the Mid-Hudson Library System, I just kind of want to echo what Jody said about Advocacy Week. Even like you can, the Mid-Hudson Library System really depends on state funding for their budget and resources, and they get 75% of their funding from the state. And they use all that money to help support our library and our system with things like delivery, tech support, cataloging, professional development. And if their funding is cut, then we are really affected by it. So we do get a little bit of state funding. It's honestly not that much, but the really big thing with Advocacy Week is to advocate for our library systems because we get such a big return on investment from them. It's like for every $1 that goes into the system, $7 worth of services come out, which is really impressive. So for Advocacy Week, you can participate just by like sharing some of the library's social media posts on your own social media pages. You don't need to talk to a political representative if you don't want to. But if you do, I will send out the information, Jody, about how to sign up to meet with our representatives. We have one meeting on February 22nd and another on February 26th. And I've signed up for both. And even if you sign up and go to the meeting, you don't have to talk. And I think just the idea is to get as many people there as possible to show them how serious we are about library funding. My other thing for the Mid-Hudson Library System actually requires action, which is that our annual report needs to be approved by all of you. And I attached a copy of the report in my email that I sent out last week. So were there any questions about the annual report?
That was a long report.
Yes.
It must have been very tedious to do, but it looked complete to me.
I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage because I used to review the annual reports at Mid-Hudson, so I kind of knew what the things were that people trip over the most, and I tried really hard not to do them. But I did send it out to Mid-Hudson for corrections and haven't heard back yet, but I'm sure there'll be something to fix though. I believe the board needs to officially approve the report. That's one of the things in the report.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve it's for 2020, right? 2020
Yep.
annual report for Mid-Hudson Library System.
I'll
Do we
second.
have a second, Cecilia second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it is approved, Courtney.
All right, thank you. We can check that off. For an update for outreach, kind of a weird thing, but I made the library a LinkedIn business page, and part of my reason for doing this was so that nobody else could claim it. It's ours now. I thought it would also be a helpful place to post future job openings so people can be more likely to find information on that. Kristen, our new adult programmer, and I will be working with the Literary Festival Committee to explore what it'll look like this year. We have a meeting, I believe, at the end of February to consider whether we're going to move the festival date or do it an online version. And that should be pretty interesting to figure out what we're going to do there. But it'd be nice to do something this year. I feel like people really missed it last year, and it'd be nice to get something kind of back to normal. We are planning kind of a lot of Earth Day events actually in coordination with other libraries in Dutchess County. We're still working on planning, but we are definitely coordinating with the Carey Institute and the Innisfree Gardens. And we also ordered 100 seed packets to distribute to the community. So Kristen and I are still kind of working on the wording for those programs, but it does look like we're going to be doing a free walking tour of Innisfree and a program with the Carey Institute on tree identification, and then people can go out and ID trees themselves and then kind of like submit their findings to the library and get entered into a raffle. So I think it's always good to do programming around Earth Day, and I think these are really fun things that get people outside at the same time. So keep an eye out for that. And our Turning Outward team has been formed, and the first meeting is on March 18th. So this is what we will use to eventually help us create our next long-term plan, and I'm excited about that. I think we have a really great team. For personnel, so Kristen Perkins started the library at the end of January, and she's really quickly learned how to use Sierra and all the different library policies and procedures. She's also jumped right into programming and is already bringing back her book club, which is really great. It's something that I wanted to do and I just have not had time to do it. So I'm really glad that she offered to bring it back. She's also working on some great programs for March as well as the Earth Day events. We have an online Korean cooking program planned, which I'm very excited about personally. So she's done a great job just jumping right in, and I've been really impressed with her work so far, especially because she doesn't have any formal library experience. She's doing a really, really great job. So just yet again, awesome things to say about our staff. Kind of along with that, I've started conducting staff evaluations. I think this is important just so I can make sure to check in with everybody and make sure that they feel like they're in a good place. If there's stuff that I could be doing to help them more, things that they want to learn about. And so far that's going really well. And my goal is to do that once a year from now on, like at the beginning of each year. Are there any questions with personnel? All right, so for programming, Abby's children's programming is back in full swing, and we now have a drawing club for kids, and we scheduled 2 music programs for this month. And this is in addition to her virtual storytime, arts and crafters, science worms, and writing club programs. And like I said before, Abby has her own fan club now, which is very cute. She has kids that come in and bring her gifts and stuff, which I think is always the mark that you're doing a good job. So the kids are definitely still enjoying her programs. Terry's teen craft kits are still very popular, and she has some really cute programs planned for March that I think people will really like. For adult programming, we're holding a tour of Dia Beacon this week. We're doing an art program on parties in the Middle Ages, and we're holding our new online book club. We're also offering online yoga classes and tech help as usual. And we had 12 people sign up for our Valentine card kit, and there were people on the waiting list, which I think is a good sign. And I'm going to keep doing the card kits for a while because people seem to like them. For sustainability, our next meeting will be next week, and we'll be looking at our checklist and taking on new tasks to keep moving forward. And I think Jody had mentioned that she was going to bring up some policy changes, so for the policy committee to look at. So we're just moving forward one step at a time with that, and it's going well. My last thing is the website. So based on feedback from the community, you may have noticed the website that we announced to everybody was not the website that we actually ended up with now. I redesigned a lot of the original website, and a lot of it was due to a friendly community member who messaged me on Facebook and had experience in graphic design and I think web design, and just basically tore it apart. And once he said all this stuff, I couldn't unsee it. So I decided to just go big and rearrange the whole website. And now I'm much happier with it. I think other people are much happier with it. So I'd like to kind of thank the anonymous patron for being willing to hurt my feelings and give me the harsh feedback because I think it looks really good now. And I think the response that I've gotten has been a lot better to it. People really wanted more color, which we added, and even better mobile functionality. So I'm happy with it now. Hopefully all of you are too, and I don't really want to mess around with it again for a while. And that's all I have for this month.
Well, thank you, Courtney. I think the website looks good. So good job.
We got there.
And it's great that you were so open to it. That takes some courage and a good person. Like, no, I worked so hard on this and it has to stay that way. But
I will admit it was kind of depressing at first, but then I was like, you know what? Just it's constructive criticism. It's okay. Not personal.
kudos to you for that. Yes, definitely.
Well, it must have been pretty compelling, the reasons this person gave you.
They were stuff that I was kind of like ignoring myself a little bit and be like, oh no, it's fine. And then once he pointed them out, I was like, oh, all right, it's not fine. But yeah, like I said, we got there.
Great. Does anyone have any questions or any comments or anything for Courtney on her report? Okay. So now we'll move to, I don't have anything in correspondence or communications. And next up are our financial reports for Mark.
Yeah, all right. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, in my email, I didn't include my annual financial committee report, but I did type one up, so I'll send that to you guys tomorrow. There's only 4 items. It's pretty brief. It's usually like we did our audit and a couple other things. I just can't remember them. So one of the things we're going to be looking at is the bills. I know that was included in Courtney's email, and I resent it in my email today. Everything. Did anyone have any questions about the bills to be paid on 125 and 24?
I do not.
Okay. All right. I had a question. And I don't, maybe haven't seen it before, but Courtney, we have an American Express account.
Yes, that charge was reimbursing Kathy for the Friends display cabinets for the foyer. She paid for it herself because it was a little too expensive to put on our credit card, and that was a reimbursement for her.
Okay. I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I've never seen that. And I actually went to look at other bill cycles. I was like, there's still no Amex card. Where is this coming from? All right, cool. that was kind of my only question for that. So good. And then in terms of the financial report, this was done mainly with Courtney's help, since I didn't get any of the numbers for December, but Courtney got them for me, so it was fantastic. And the most exciting part, I don't know if this is any exciting to anyone else, but I got the profit and loss for up to December 2020 versus the budget for the first time in a long time. So it's just nice to see, you know, as opposed to year over year, but how we are doing in respect to our budget as well. So couple items to highlight again, government support, we're at 88.5% of income due to the lack of the union veil. Otherwise, we got 100% of our 414 and the little bit that we get from the state. Contributions income relative to budget, not sure how we can really, you know, budget it, but we did, and we were at 90.1% of our goal, which is pretty amazing considering what 2020 is. And then to kind of top off those two areas, which are a big factor in our income, is we kind of have like a unbudgeted area, and I think we've added it to our 2021 budget. I'll look at that. But we also got, sorry, my screen keeps on dimming on me, but we got an additional 63,600 in grants, and that more than covers our shortfall from our government support and contribution incomes. So, and then there was a couple of other items in terms of the interest, but overall, we are at 115% of our budgeted income for one crazy 2020. So that's pretty amazing. And then again for expenses, and this is something, all right, so bank fees are at 101.9%. I believe in our 2019 budget, we increased our bank fees from $4,000 to $25,000 because in December, we get a substantial fee from the Millbrook and Trust and Investments Department. So we updated it for 2019, and I don't know what happened where we, well, I mean, I was the treasurer the whole time. So anyways, I would like to, how would I go about proposing like an adjustment to our 2021 budget? Or do we just wait for 2022? Because I would like to increase the bank fees budget back to the 25,000. For some reason, it reverted back to $4,000.
So, okay. I would propose that we make that adjustment in the budget now.
Okay. Yeah, so I will, I'll send you everyone an updated budget. That'll be the one line item that I'm gonna update. So if I could make a motion to update line 605 to increase the budget from 4,000 to 25,000.
Are there any questions?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed to that change? Okay,
All
Who
right.
seconded
And
that?
Matt.
Thanks.
And all the other expense line items are relatively the same. They're all a little bit lower just because of what the year's been like, being fully staffed earlier in 2020. So our net ordinary income relative to our budget for 2020, we are minus 100%. We were budgeted to be short $51,000 for the year into our expenses and income, and we're actually positive $90,000. So
All right, it's a really bad echo. It's just me.
yeah, that just started going.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, it's unmuted.
Sounds like it's Celia. Celia, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I think it might have
All
been.
right. Yeah. Does it sound better now when I'm talking? Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, exciting profit and loss versus budget information. I'm really happy with it considering what the year was like and everything like that, and all the speculation and what ifs and everything like that. So it went really well. I hope to include the profit and loss versus budget in every report and have the profit and loss versus the year over year. I'll talk to Courtney. For some reason, you did send me 3 reports. One report was it was missing chunks of information, but that's okay. It was really fun to look at the versus the budget. And then in terms of the balance sheets, I think most times I'm saying that they're well and above what they were previously in 2019, and that trend has continued. New business. Well, Courtney kind of already updated this, that she just sent the PPP loan forgiveness, which is great. Again, request Erica resume providing the PL versus budget. That I can sort that out. And yeah, then the last item, thank you for going with the increase for the budget for the bank fees. All right, so if I could make things disappear on my phone all the time, sorry. If I can make a motion to approve the bills for 125.21 and 24.21.
I second. All in favor for the bills? Okay, and everybody approved them.
All right, and I'd also like to make a motion, or someone would like to make a motion to approve the February 16th financial report covering the December 2020 numbers.
And I second, or was that you, Carrie? All right, I will second that. All in favor to accept the financial report?
Aye.
Excellent. Very good. All right, thank you, Mark.
No problem, thank you.
I think we've been through most of the committee business. Is there any other committee business that anyone needs to discuss or bring up? I know James, I don't know if Carrie talked to you about joining a committee. It's not something you need to decide right now, but we can send you the committee lists, and you can give it a review and let us know where you think you might like to join, or we can let you know where we need somebody or something.
Absolutely. I'd love to get more involved. That'd be great. Thank you.
Courtney, do you have anything else that you want to share or bring up at this point?
I think that is it for me.
All right, well, look for some advocacy information from Courtney or I, or both of us. I am just going to check one more time and see if there's any other business or new business that anyone wants to discuss this evening before we adjourn. All right. Well, Courtney, keep us apprised with the roof situation.
I will definitely keep you posted.
All right, good luck. And being no more business, I would make a motion to adjourn our meeting for this evening.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll be in touch.